Yo, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are today, taking a first look at the Overprime update notes. And so we got a new hero coming in. I know nothing about him. They got a bunch of discounts for skins. And now, let's see what matters. Hero balance changes. Decker, one of the most broken gods in the duo lane for support. Her dome damage adjustments. That's it. That's it. That's all that they did is they reduced. Nobody even cares about the damage of the dome. Had nothing to do with the damage of the dome. That's like, you don't even need that skill. That's how crazy that Decker is. It's not even a plasma dome isn't the issue. It's the super low cooldown on the stun. It's the boot jump to the moon. What are you guys doing? This is terrible news for tomorrow that this character hasn't been properly adjusted. It's still going to be broken. People aren't even building it for cooldowns or building it for magical damage. They're building it full ADC. They're going jewelry box, attack speed. Such a shame that they're not listening to comments in their own Discord channels. That's the only balance that they did to Decker. I don't know. Countess, what did they think was wrong with her? Shadow Ripple, her Q skill cooldown adjustments before. Okay, so they lowered Countess's cooldowns. Sure, why not? They did it by 1.5 seconds. And from the first cast, and then 0.5 down to 8 seconds. So at the end result, she can 1.5 seconds. The cooldown has been adjusted to help each team keep their opponents in check during lane combat. Well, this is a really good addition to Countess to combat Iggy in the solo lane. I have no troubles having that 1.5 seconds lower. And it picks her up with mid mages if you wanted to play her mid. It now allows her clear and her cooldown to kind of follow along with. It's not quite like a Gideon 6 second or 5, whatever his cooldown. Wrath is a 5 second, 8 seconds or 7 seconds for other mages. Like 10 seconds is still pretty high considering, but she is a one-shot trick. She will blow people up. Phase, flash burst, skill speed adjusted, super explosion R skill, skill speed adjusted. I have no idea what that means. We noticed that the skill would frequently be canceled during casting. To mitigate this issue, the skill speed has been adjusted. Okay, so phase really no changes. It's just she's going to be able to get her skills off to the point where you can't interrupt her to cancel her casting. If she pushes the button, you're going to get hit with it now. Kalari, I mean, they didn't fix anything about him. Ooh, his branding or brand. It's now a 6-second skill. Okay, that's not the issue. The issue is that everybody can see him the entire game because everybody has a goddamn free ward. You can't play Kalari in a competitive mode because as soon as somebody sees him, they just drop the fucking ward on the ground and you don't have time to counter ward. Now, if they sold counter wards that deleted instantly the other player's wards, Kalari would be viable because he could buy a counter ward, or if they had some type of skill that he could counter ward, and it would just incinerate wards. Not you still gotta you throw a ward down and then you gotta 3-hit it. It's silly. Or if he went into stealth and then he could, I don't know. There's got to be some form of help for him as a character to play around all these fucking free wards that everybody has every minute 20 that lasts for 90 seconds. Or they last for a minute 20 and you get them every 90 seconds. Whatever it is. I mean, every minute 30, you're ready for another Kalari invade, a gank. Like, and forget about going to the duo lane. You got 4 fucking wards you got to counter. Like, it's just, if the other team's winning the lane and they're controlling the grass, this character sucks as a jungler. There's no point in playing him. And like, sure, he could be fun. He was great in the early release back in December. Fun as fuck. Probably one of the top tier junglers now. I don't know. They didn't do shit to help this character out. Wrath. Ultimate switch. R skill area adjusted. Who cares? The ultimate is garbage. Ooh, I'm going to turn into stealth. And my speed is now boosted by 15%, but if I touch my run button to even remotely start sprinting, I get kicked out of my fucking ult. Everybody can see me because they all have the same ward problem as Kalari. Who gives a shit about 1300 rating? This should say ultimate has been changed to be stealth and will not be seen by wards. And then you could ult your whole team, run across the map, and nobody would have a fucking clue where you are. That would be an ultimate. But this ultimate is garbage. I use it to run back to my fucking tower during an invade. I'll throw my knockback, whatever the fuck it's called. I put my knockback on the jungler, and then I instantly ult and just dodge left, right, and hope that the enemy doesn't hit me and I can make it out. Movement speed adjusted. Now 25%. That's a little better. I give props that they knew that 15% was dog shit when you got Wukong, who can jump in the air and run like a motherfucker in the wind, running at 50%. You got Decker, who can jump boot faster and further than you can fucking run. You never get away from her. Then you got characters like Crunch, who can double dash. They adjusted his dash range, and then you can dash and then ultimate dash. Get the fuck out of here. Even 25%. That should be minimum 30. It should be at least 40% for you. Now, if they said, we're going to give your teammates 20% or a group multiplier or divider, we'll give you 50% movement speed in your ult. But if you have 2 teammates, it's 25% a piece. If there's 3 teammates, it's 33 or whatever. I guess it would be lower than that. It would be like 18 or whatever. If you got 5, it's 10% each. I don't know. I don't like the patch notes so far. Due to Wrath's playstyle, he's usually positioned in the back and he usually can't use sprint mode because he needs to stay stealth. Yeah, so fix that. You should be able to sprint in stealth, you fucks. To help him more effectively initiate fights or flee from danger, his skill area and movement speed has been adjusted. Not enough. He's a good character, super fun to play. Just, it's a good improvement. It's better than he's better than he was before the patch. Okay, Rampage. Menacing arrival area when adjusted when Rampage holds a bull. Okay, nice. Good. So Rampage, if you don't know, he has a 1.5 second stun on his Q. You rip this big ass rock out of the ground, and you can throw it unlimited range. It has a little bit of arc in it, so you have to adjust for height depending on how far across the map you want to throw it. Now, you can hold on to this rock and leap into the air onto your enemy and smash them with a rock. Now, they increased the radius for how large of a circle that smash has become. Good update. Rampage is better than he was. Nothing wrong with that. That's a great little addition, especially for the fucked up radiuses they have put into the game. The Fae. Okay, she's better than she was before the patch, but man, have they nerfed this poor bitch into the ground. Like, how unpleasant is she to play now? Just not a good, fun character. She was OP as fuck, but after the old banhammer came out and hit her over and over and over, now they're trying to increase her a little bit. She's like, I don't know. If she doesn't compete with Gideon, she doesn't compete with Iggy. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played enough Iggy to have an opinion about him after his hot patch nerf. So, Iggy's not as dominant as he was, that's for sure. But Gideon, by far, and Bellica are 1-2 mid mages. The Fae will never compete with those two at the current moment. I would be curious to see if her forest skill can now touch. If you throw it in the middle between the waves, whether or not you can hit all 6 minions at the same time. If you can properly place this skill to hit all 6 minions at the exact same time, she will compete. That'll be a great addition. But if she can still only land her stupid forest skill on 3 minions, who gives a fuck? Revenant. Storm bullets coefficient increased. We found that Revenant's recent balance changes decreased the usefulness of Storm bullets Q. As a result, we adjusted the skill coefficient again. Additionally, we are monitoring live records and graphs for our ongoing internal discussions regarding possible changes to Revenant skills. Still the worst carry in the game. I would play Decker carry before I play Revenant. Like, Sparrow is absolutely broken. Twin Blast, getting his leap. I don't know if it was reverted back to what it originally was, but where it is today feels, and I honestly haven't really played him, but I played against him, and I played support with players that have been playing him. He looks good. He's putting out damage. He's doing his Twin Blast thing. Murdoch, a beast. Can't stop a Murdoch. It's just... Revenant's the worst ADC in the game. As simple as that. They fucking just wrecked that character. And this isn't helping. This doesn't really... He's not relying on his stupid Q. He relies on his last hit of his chamber, and when you're only doing 4 hits, it's not enough. It's just not enough. Anyway, so the character balances are not enough. They didn't fix crunch at all. I don't give a shit that it like this last patch was his moment to shine because he came out and it was their new character. But fuck crunch. It is the most broken plus tier god in the game. If you play him and build him properly, you will never outlevel him or outtrade him in any fucking fight in a 1v1. The only way you're killing a crunch is if your team teams together, CCs the fuck out of him, and blows him up because he's not building a whole lot of defense. But if you run into him in the jungle and you try to face him 1v1, you're going to sit and spawn for 30 seconds and think about what you did wrong. Every fucking time you run into that guy, I don't care who you're playing. You could be Wukong, you could be Fang Mao, you could be Kalari, you could be whoever the fuck you want to be. You're not going to beat a crunch in the current meta 1v1. It's that fucking broken. And they did not address that. And they're going to go live with their fucking new ranked games. Crunch it will be the number one jungler character in the game. Hands down. Xena, I haven't played her enough because her dash fucking sucks and still fucking sucks. It's better. I did play her 1 or 2 times. But she's the kind of character that might be able to compete. I just haven't played her enough. But anyway, let's move on to item balance changes. So, okay, big changes coming. Exemia Toy. So now it's just a physical defense item. Interesting. Kind of garbage. Because how do you rotate as a solo laner? Or what do you build now as a solo laner who has to defend against physical auto attacks and magical skills? What are you going to build? Price decrease. Okay. So they were saying that 40 magical damage, I think it was. What was it before? 30 magical defense, they were saying was worth 650 gold. That's a steal of a deal. So now to get 30 magical defense, you have to spend well over 650 gold. So that's a huge nerf. Because you're not buying magical defense. Now, they kept the health the same. They gave you more physical defense. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Okay, so you can tank towers and a little extra. So is this now a support item? Because you were never building this really, like, unless you were... You really shouldn't be building this as a support. So who builds it? Because this is a you gotta build you gotta build uh zinc claw barrier now in the solo lane, but you lose out on the magical damage. You get the 7% reflect damage back. So I mean, this is a great item if you are going up against a straight physical defense. Like, if you got a carry in the duo lane, that's going to solve that problem. That's going to solve that problem in a real fucking hurry. If you got a Twin Blast or a Murdoch sitting in your lane and you're playing a good warrior that's supposed to frontline, and they think that they're going to come into your lane and you're going to box the fuck out of them with 50 magical, 25 to 50 magical per second for 2650 with 55 physical defense. So this is a good change. This is going to get rid of the ADCs in solo, but not a good deal for, you're going to see magical continue to strive. You're going to see the Iggy's and Decker. You're going to see Iggy, Decker. You're going to see Countess, Seraph, or whatever her name is. You're going to see Quang. You're going to see players that do magical damage more taking effect in the solo lane. 100%. Because this was such a great ability to have on your armor for clearing your wave and clearing jungles. If you could out clear the other team and do a little jungle invade, but yet still be tanky and ready to rotate. Now, you have no magical defense on your first rotation to try and get in with the spirit. Because before you could build your robe that had the plus 25 on each category or whatever it was for 1450 gold, I think it was. I don't know. Since there are a number of item stats available, players would purchase the best item regardless of the compatibility between the item and their hero. We have removed some item stats to encourage players to purchase items more strategically. Due to this change, the price and damage output from each item have been adjusted. As a result, magical power heroes who struggle in jungle lanes are expected to perform better. What? Magical power heroes who struggle in the jungle lanes are expected to perform better. What? Okay, anyway, we'll continue. Why? Because they were saying people... Like, this doesn't help your jungle. This doesn't help Rampage. This doesn't help Sevrog. This is terrible for those two magical characters. Now you got a Rampage and a Sevrog who should be building tanky. They're building no magical defense. And you want them to go gank mid lane? The poor jungler is getting blown the fuck up early game. Mage is just, it's so much better. It's such a better time to be a mage because now you don't have to worry about people in the early game having magical and physical defense. You got to choose. Mages just became way better in the game. Okay. Spear's Teardrop. Oof. They didn't increase the damage? They didn't add 2,700 gold? 2,700 gold. 300 extra gold. You're getting what? 60, 70, 80, 90, 105 gold a wave? 105 gold. And then, so like 150 or something every third wave. So you got to do 3 waves, and basically every 3 waves, you got to do an extra 3 waves. So you got to sit in lane for an extra minute 30 to 2 minutes to get this item now. So an extra 2 minutes of your gameplay. Oh man, mage builds have been so expensive. It was already a nightmare trying to get pen and power and a utility like a slow or an anti-heal, plus that's, well, it is what it is. I don't know. That's expensive. I didn't think the 60, I think it's 60 magical power. I don't know. It's a good item. It's a great item. It's probably one of the best items in the game. So now you got to pay more. An extra 2 minutes of your time farming mid or getting a player kill. Okay. While the item's effectiveness was outstanding, the price was relatively cheap. This made it extremely effective for casters. We've adjusted the item price so players will also consider they're not going to consider other magical items. It's still the item to get. There is no other item. You're doing 6% of, or whatever, they changed the numbers, but let's say roughly 6% every time you cast an ability on somebody's HP. Like, there's no other item that competes with a tick damage. You keep them from sprinting, so they can't get away. You reapply it. You chase them down, reapply it, chase them down, reapply it. Your team catches up and kills them. They're not going to, nobody's considering another item. They got to play for an extra 2 minutes to get it. Spirit Fang. The #1 item built on every physical character in the game. Now, they boosted the power, reduced the attack speed, reduced the health, reduced the price. This makes... Oh, they increased the price. Oh, okay. Well, this makes Jewelry Box the #1 item to build in the jungle. Jewelry Box is now the #1 item, no longer this item, because the attack speed is the same, the power is 10 less, but you do 80 damage to Tions or monsters, and you do 6% health damage per auto attack. So it's a no-brainer. And it's 200 gold cheaper for 10 power. And the health don't really matter. I mean, 250 health, yeah, it's survivability, but I would rather clear my jungle 5 seconds faster every 5, 10, 15, 20, like 30 seconds. You could probably clear your jungle with this this item, Spirit Fang versus Jewelry Box. I'm going to say Jewelry Box clears your jungle at least 30 seconds faster, all 4 camps combined. You're going to be able to run through your jungle. And the item's more expensive. So not only do you have to farm longer to get this item, so it slows you down in the end, there's better items in the game. But there's just better items in the game now. That's a terrible nerf. The best item in the game just became a mediocre item. Still has a powerful, great active, but whatever. And what the fuck is with these lazy notes? Like, put up your stats of the item, the full stats with, like, you lazy motherfuckers. Anyway, Witch's Shoes. Cooldown. 10 seconds, now 12 seconds. I mean, that's pretty shitty. 10 seconds, there was nothing wrong with 10 seconds. The synergy between this item and casters was overwhelmingly good. Well, yeah. What's wrong with that? Every second rotation of their skills they got to use. Like, they just made this a Gideon boot because his is on a 6-second cast, his meteorite. So every second meteorite, this fits in perfect. For Wrath, his is on a 5-second cooldown. So every third time he shoots, or anybody with a 5-second cast time, this is now, it's going to be great on some characters and it's going to feel clunky on others. 10 seconds was beautiful. It fit every mage. This is a bad nerf. This was a bad decision. The item had a cooldown cycle which triggered the effect after a single use of the hero's main skill. The cooldown has been adjusted so that the item effect will be triggered after 2 uses of the hero's main skill. Yeah, that's garbage. This is an expensive item. You get this for survivability. This allows you to catch up and chase. This allows you to keep up and get away. You can drop an item, duck and dodge incoming attacks, and every mage had the same one. It was, I don't know, man. Terrible. Terrible, terrible nerf. Price change on blacksmith scissors. That's it? They just changed the price? I don't know. Doesn't really matter, I guess. It was a great item. Now, it's still going to be a great item. I don't know if 200 gold changes it. I don't think it was overpowering. I think the CC in the game is too much. There's no reduction in crowd control. If you get hit with all 3 crowd controls, you're locked down for the entire duration of all 3 crowd controls. There's no mitigation if you get CC'd multiple times by multiple skills. So this item was kind of needed. A lot of people were building it as their second or third their second or last item in the game. It was cheap. It would fit in sooner. It was great for team fights. I don't think it's going to be an issue late game for the last 200 gold. I mean, once you're late game and you cap out your gold, you got so much gold you don't know what to do with. So I don't think that's going to hurt a whole hell of a lot. So they did a lot to this item. So they added 5% all vamp. That's pretty significant. So now it deals an increase of 40% magical power. It used to do 30%. The stack cooldowns 5 seconds, now 3 seconds. Because this item dealt less damage than Witch's Shoes and its effect was difficult to trigger, it had a low purchase rate. Well, yeah, because it was super expensive. It was a garbage item. To generate more synergy with heroes with this item, we've added an all vamp effect. Additionally, the item's magical damage has been increased and its cooldown has been adjusted to lower the usage hurdle. I don't really use this item. I might theory craft some builds with it after the release. But it seems like this item is definitely better than what it was, but it's still a super expensive item to get into your build for. Does it become better than Witch's Shoes? I think this is 3,000 gold. Witch's Shoes is 2,800. The all vamp is very interesting. The 40% magical power, I'm not certain on it. I mean, you're going to do an extra 40 damage. So this is like 140 plus whatever your character stats are. What was Witch's? They don't tell you the stats. I can't remember the passive of Witch's Shoes and how much damage you do to it. Blue Heart, cooldown. That's a good price decrease. This was an extremely expensive item for what it was. And great cooldown. This item will definitely be better. Because the one this is definitely going to become like Gideon's going to build this and this. This will protect him in his alt. He's going to be able to teleport alt, and the passive on this is going to protect him from stuns or any CC. And this is now going to give Gideon a vamp in his alt. If he does his meteorite, drops his. So he's going to have to drop a meteorite and then drop a meteorite and drop his black hole or a mini black hole, whatever it is. Then teleport into the air and start his alt. And he's going to do a 40% increase to his alt. And he's going to be able to sustain, and he's going to be able to be protected by CC for a lot less money. I think Gideon's going to be the best mid-mage in the game. Because he has a teleport, he doesn't need Witch's Shoes. He doesn't necessarily need to build Spirit Drop. Spear's Teardrop. If he goes Mathematicians, which gives you your 10% cooldown, and then he goes into a I wonder. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with this build. Check out some numbers. Okay. We found that the cooldown was too long. Yeah. Superior immunity booster. The old fish on a plate or cutting board. is now cooldowns have been changed. Stats, physical power. So they added pen. They added 5 pen and lowered the cooldown. I still don't know if I'll buy it, but that's a mediocre boost. I wish they wrote down the effect and what the cooldown was supposed to be affecting. I don't use that item enough to know. It was too long. Okay, same problem as the other item. Mediocre change, 2.5%, 3.5%. I mean, you're adding an extra 1%. Is it a game changer? Whatever, who cares? This is irrelevant. It gives those who actually build this item a 1% boost in power. It's so mediocre. You won't even notice the difference. I mean, the majority of people don't build this. There's a few. Whatever. Although its max mana is low, yeah, maybe that in itself, that statement, should be a key that you should increase the max mana. Although it's low, we know it's low, so but we're not going to change that. We're just going to add a mediocre 1%. It's not enough. Dual Moon, remove Plasma Cutter. What? I don't. Calculation change, removed Plasma Cutter, added Spirit's Handgun. Oh, from the lower tier tree. Okay. Slows by 20%. Now slows by 30%. That's a good boost. Physical power. It now has 20% attack speed, making this item a lot better. If they added 20% attack speed, this is going to replace. This replaces Spirit Fang. Hands down. You're never going to buy this item again. For 3,000 gold, you're never going to buy this item again. When you can buy a jewelry box and you can now buy Dual Moon with a 30% built-in slow and 20% attack speed for 2,600 gold, you're never going to buy that other item. This is your new jungle build, and nobody's going to be able to get away from you. Auto attack characters are going to roam the jungle and take over with those two items. Yeah, it's going to be a great item. Claude Storm, if they increase the movement speed by 30% for 5 seconds rather than 20% for 4 seconds, it's an overpriced. I mean, this is a good, it makes the item better. The item's better than what it was before. So it's a good improvement, but it's still, nobody ever buys it because there's no attack. Well, very few people buy it because there's no attack speed in this item. And it's just a general item that the additional movement speed. I mean, junglers have so many skills to close the gap. This is like an emergency dash run away. You have usefulness, but I just thumbs up. It's a better item than it was before. That's all I have to say about that. Um, Spirit armor. If you thought ADCs were broken as fuck before, welcome to the new broken ADC meta. We're now gonna give you 40 physical power, 30% attack speed, and 4% of fuck you, you're never gonna get away from me movement speed. Why? Why? Why on earth would you ever do something so stupid? It became difficult for players to benefit from this item when they were struck by debuffs. Additionally, its stats and effects were less effective than other ranger items. To help players use the items effect quickly and guarantees that it's enabled, we've added attack speed and movement speed stats. But that's it, ranged. This is like the number one ranged. You're going to see this on every ranged character. Now, if this was physical defense, if they made this 20 physical defense, 20 magical defense, 30% attack speed, 4% increased movement speed, and they made this for warriors and melee, and they made this to counter, and then they had like a crit damage reduction or a basic attack reduction or some form of nullification of 10. If they made this item for, they didn't make this, their statement is so gross. Because you're not going to have melee build, like they're going to build it, but so are the carries. The rangers are going to run away with this item. You're never going to get away from them, and you're never going to catch them. This is silly. Okay, well, so this watch had 50-50. So they boosted the, what? They boosted the attack speed and boosted the cooldowns. So they just essentially made Crunch more broken than he already was. If you thought Crunch was broken before, wait till you see him play with this. This is going to be one of the worst experiences in the game, is to have a Crunch chase you down with an extra 10% attack speed and an extra 0.1 seconds off all of his skills, every basic attack that he does. So not only can he basic attack 10% faster, but every time he does hit you, his skills are going to come back that much quicker. While this item was best suited for skill-based rangers, I've never seen a ranger in the 800 hours that I've played this game build this item once. So I don't know what dev is building this on what ranger, but you're on crack. Heroes other than Twin Blast, Sparrow, and Crunch tended not to select this item. Nobody on Twin Blast or Sparrow has ever built this item. The only person that builds this item is Crunch. And the fact that you just made Crunch become 10% better, and he was already 170% better than every other character in the game, this basically now tells me that this character is the only viable jungler in competition. He is the number one played, number one banned character in this game. And if you don't ban him, you're going to lose every game against him because he's just broken. We wanted this item to become more effective for players in the early game, so its attack speed and effects have been adjusted. On fucking real. Anyway, artificial gravity inductor. Alright, so artificial gravity inductor. We have a duration. Oh, okay, on its passive, it would like... I forget what the passive is. I want to say it was the item that reduces physical power and attack speed by X amount of percentage, 30%, 20%, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, super expensive item, very limited rolls. So they say that you're going to want to have it to counter rangers. I mean, that's just a joke. But okay. Let's give it, I'm pretty sure this is a magical defense item. But anyway, whatever. Shock energy battery. Deals damage equal to 50% of the hero's physical power upon... it gave you like 10% run speed. That's interesting. I mean, if you're out of combat for 6 seconds, you gain this passive that your next basic attack will do 125% of the physical hero. Now, if this applies to minions, that'll be good for a little bit of farming, but so it increases your movement speed by 3% passively, and then an extra 10%, so you're going to be 13% faster running around the map. Health is the same, and it gives you 10 extra physical, and it's not that expensive an item. I want to say it's like $25.50. In combat, it was very difficult for players to utilize the out-of-combat effect, and attempting to use it more than once would be even harder. We've adjusted the damage output to make the item more impactful when it's used just once. Additionally, a movement speed stat has been added to help players move around the battlefield faster. Yay. Broken Watch. Physical defense increased, health increased, mana decreased. Movement speed stays the same. I mean, sure, whatever. That's just a whatever change. The item effectiveness has been boosted by decreasing max mana and increasing the value, the health value. Yeah, sure. Embodiment of Vengeance. Before was 20%, still 20%, plus 15 magical damage upon successful basic attack, whereas it was 10 before. Adjusted the value so the item can help players deal more damage in the mid-early game. It's a good item. It got better. Stayed the same price. Sure. The values, so Holy Relic before physical power, now it's 35, crit rate 20, 20, magical defense 35. So they just added 5 more. This item was meant to counter casters and cancel debuffs with its magical defense stats. However, its low power made players hesitate to purchase it. The power has been adjusted. No, the reason players hesitated to buy this is because it was expensive as fuck for what you got. And it's still expensive as fuck for what you get. Great price change. 200 gold less makes this a great viable option. Yeah, this is a great. Hey, thumbs up. Devs, you plus one your game right here. You made it that much better by making this a feasible purchase because you're already so far behind. As a mage, if you want to buy this as a mage in the early game to help you out, you're so far behind. Like, you're still so far behind. This should be an 850 gold item. It should not be 1100 gold. I don't give a fuck. This is still too expensive for what it is and where it goes. You got 2 items to build into. This one and that blue heart or whatever. But in the right direction. Berserker Helm. Decrease the attacker's attack speed by 4% and slows them by 4% for 2 seconds. Stacks 5 times. Now it's instead of 4%, it's 5%, 5% for 3 seconds. Stacks 5 times. So essentially, instead of 20%, you're now doing 25% slows and attack speed. Okay. I mean, it's 45 physical, 40 magical defense with 10% cooldown for 2,800 gold. 26, 27, 28, somewhere in there. And now it is, the passive has been boosted. This is now your new starter item in the solo lane. This is your Exemia toy. Is that what I'm thinking now? That this replaces Exemia toy? You now go this item and jewelry box? Or you need some maybe Vamp Sword and Berserker Helm with a attack speed boost. You can get a 30% attack speed for 750 gold. You get your Vamp Sword that has 150 basic attack power, and your Berserker Helm. It gives you lifesteal, slows them, reduces their attack speed. This might be the new. It's 2,800 gold. You're going to get 4540 physical magical defense, whereas the other one's 2650 and you're getting 55 physical defense. I think this is your new item. I think this is what warriors are going to have to build. So with this in Dual Moon, does that mean that you're going to be able to slow somebody for 50%? Is there a cap on slow? What stacks? What doesn't stack? Like questions. This item stats seemed less attractive than those other items designed for tanks. The effects have been adjusted so players can feel the effectiveness. There is no tank in your game, let's be real. With the pen items as strong as they are, tanks are so fucking useless. So fucking useless. Tanks. Magical power 45. So you want your tanks to have 45 magical power. How about you stop with your nonsense and build proper tank items? Like, how about 10% reflect damage, 30 magical defense, 45 physical defense, 1.2 mana regen, 10% cooldown. How about that? How about let's not have 45 magical power for a fucking item designed for tanks? As a tank, I do not need 45 magical power. I need defense. How about anti-heal? How about movement speed? How about HP regen? How about a shield regen? How about something that is designed for tanks? Fucking magic power. This item is designed for mages that wants 30 magical defense, never to run out of mana with 10% cooldown. It was difficult for players to know if their ally had a debuff applied, which makes this item more difficult to use. The item effect cooldown has been adjusted to encourage more frequent use, and its cooldown has been adjusted to unlock its potential. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, this gives you like a 200 to 400 HP heal and crowd control removal for your allies as an active. This is definitely going to be built on every support character in the game now that it has a 10% decrease cooldown. Definitely a number one item. This is maybe your second item that you're going to purchase. You're going to pick up a physical defense item, and then now you're going to pick up a magical defense item. You're going to have your mana. You're going to be able to heal your teammates. You're going to have a 20% cooldown, and you're going to be able to heal them every, minute 40? So every 3 waves, you're going to be able to give them 300 to 400 HP back. It was difficult for players to know if their ally... Oh, no, I read that. Treasure Sword. Treasure Sword. Increase critical damage by 25% when... Really? So just when you thought carries couldn't get any more fucking broken in the game, the character class that has the biggest advantage, that literally 1v5s the entire enemy team if they get a small lead, a little snowball effect early on. You're in lane, you're playing against somebody that's a little inexperienced or just out of position just a little bit, and this carry gets a kill and then capitalizes and gets a second kill in that early game, pre-10 minutes, the game's over. You might as well just pack up and fucking F5, because you're telling me now that when tanks who don't have tank items, they have fucking magical power. You're telling me that a carry can now go... They can now go and skip a crit item. So now they can go Desert, Fanatic Desert, Spirit Armor. So they'll have 50% attack speed. They'll have 80 physical power, 4% movement speed. And then they can crit 25% more damage, because this gives you 20% crit and Fanatic Desert gives you 20. So just the 2 crit items, you can have 40% crit. So every 2 attacks, every 2 to 3 attacks, you're going to get hit by a crit that's going to give you like 175% damage, because I think a crit is 50% damage bonus, and then when you add this, they're going to give you 175% crit or damage on every critical. So every attack that a carry does is going to give you a boost of 75 extra damage every 2 to 3 hits. And then you go jewelry box after that. So the new build is Fanatic Desert, Spirit Armor, Treasure Sword, Jewelry Box, Setter Chainsaw, and Emergency Treatment. That's every carry in the game. You might exchange Jewelry Box for the crossbow, or you might exchange Spirit Armor for crossbow, or you might exchange I don't know, but just when you thought this game couldn't get any worse, here we go. We made the game ADC for life. So silly. Okay, moving on. After that depressing information, the Kima Gemstone of Fortitude 1, 2, and 3. So the ranged before the melee got 50, now it's 40, the range got 25, so they nerfed this essentially. The team considered this item more efficient than other gemstones to prevent players from only purchasing this gemstone. Well, no. This was that's so unfortunate for the melee characters. Get fucked once again. Hey, melee characters, you got a 50 shield, you got an item that can absorb all of the ADC or magic mage skill damage. Let us lower that so they can get a free poke on you from range. You can't close the gap, so that they can kill you just that little bit faster. This is an anti-melee game. If you like melee characters, run as fast and as far away from this fucking game as you possibly can, because this game is all about playing rangers. It's the only class. Like, it's based off of having a jungler who can rotate to objectives, stay alive, and be able to smite the last hit of an objective, and the range characters to push lanes that have an escape that can get away. Yeah, it's garbage, man. Another fucking item. How about you leave the 50 shield and you give no fucking range character anything? How about that? How about there is no shield for ranged characters? That way mages and archers can utilize their magic and their attack speed and their attack power, what they're designed to be doing, and then your melee solo laners can continue to struggle for their entire fucking 50 minutes with their shitty little 50 shield. Jesus Christ, man. The team considers this item, yada, yada, yada. Okay, competitive season 2023. The origin ended. MMR reset all players. Added the competitive ranked expansion system. Searches within the same ranked range as the player's current rank. Searches within the lower and higher ranked ranges as the player's current rank. Searches within the maximum rank range after 5 minutes. Okay. Improve the maximum matchmaking region range. Matchmaking for bronze to gold. Matchmaking for platinum to grandmasters. The search prioritizes the player's current rank. If there are less than 10 participants, the search gradually expands coverage to the next rank. Note that the expanded search will not find opponents outside the maximum matchmaking range. Okay. The range of 2-player parties has been changed in the same way. Now a party of 2 with bronze and gold ranks is possible. Now a party of 2 with gold and platinum ranks is not possible. Okay. So 2-player parties are disabled for placement matches and for for masters and grandmaster ranks. Matchmaking will look for opponents based on the highest rank among the party member. Remove the promotion match for ranks gold and under. Adjusted competitive participation requirements. Before, eligible players had an account level 5 and owns 12 characters. Now eligible if the player has an account level 10 and owns 12 heroes plus. How about if the player has an account level 5, he can play bronze games. And then when his account becomes level 7, he can play silver games if he can rank out of bronze. And then if he gets out of, let's say he gets to level 10, gold ranks unlock, and he can, if he's winning, move from silver to gold. And then when you get to an account level 12 or 13 or 15, you can go from gold to platinum. And then when your account hits level 20, you can go from platinum to masters. When your account goes from 20 to 25, you can go from diamond to masters or grandmaster, whatever. This doesn't mean shit. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. Greetings, competitive season and rewards. Yay, we get this sparrow skin. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Thank you very much. It's gonna sit in my character profile forever. Recipients, all players, all. How about you give one heroic. You give a credit for one free heroic of your choosing. Why would you force everybody to have the same whatever? Thanks, I guess, for the free skin that, in my personal opinion, I don't want to brown leather chapped, horned, fucking tree loving archer running around. Like, that's what a waste. Claim period 90 days. Yay. All player accounts created before the update. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Improvements. Tutorial movement path now displays. Improve the size of the tutorial. Okay. Improve the readability of the. Okay. Okay. Competitive. Adjusted demotion protection and max RP. Demotion protection adjustments for ranks gold and above. Before 2 instances of protections, now 1 instance of protection. I don't know what that means. But okay. Max RP adjustment for diamond ranked 1. Before 200 RP, now 100 RP. I still don't know what that means either, but okay. Pop-up button. Adjusted to continue pop-up button text. Okay. UI now displays when the recovery effect from Narbash Inspiration Anthem E-skill is applied. Okay. Some bugs. Fix an issue where Sparrow's arrows were invisible on the Heroes tab. Execution effects. Whatever, just a lackluster update. Worst update of this patch right here. This is literally the worst thing that they could have done to make carries 10 times better. This is going to be the first or second item built, maybe third. They may get some attack speed, or they might just go these 2 items and then all attack speeds. 4 attack speeds and then a dessert and this. Yay. Until you get 2.5 attacks per second. I think that's the cap of the game. You can get the number to 2.7, but I think it caps out at 2.5. I don't know. I'm disappointed that this is the long up and coming release patch for a rank reset. They should have I don't know. I just, that's all I have to say right now, I guess, on this matter. I'll log in tomorrow, see what kind of theory crafting I can do, but that's my opinion on what they did to this game so far. And I don't think the quality of life playing this game has gotten any better. I think the quality of life has actually gotten worse for melee. Crits is the overpowered build in the meta and continues now to become even more overpowered. It's just, oh man, now you can get like, I don't know. My mind's thinking now with the changes to certain items, especially this watch. Anyway, that's it for now. If you have any questions, if you liked what you watched, if you want to hear more, if you want me to continue making videos like this, please leave a comment below. Like, subscribe, and stay in touch. And I wish you guys all the best. Good luck in your games. Hope you guys enjoy the changes, and I'll see you guys on the battlefield.